here. I'm the secret slob, and it is my first Q&A video, and my mom is here, you guys. This is my mom. Her name is Heather, and she lives really far away, so she only comes up once in a while. And because she's the one who got me into the Flylady system and helped me find all of the awesome YouTubers like Diane in Denmark, the Flylady herself, Flylady with Kat, How Jen Does It, I thought it'd be really fun if she came to do my first Q&A with me. Are you excited?
Very excited. I'm a bit nervous.
That's okay. It'll be fun. So, we have so many questions, and I want to get through as many as we can. If you have a question that we didn't answer, just leave it in the comments below, or on any video, you can always just leave a question. I'll do my best to answer it. Okay, everybody wants to know about you. So, first thing everyone wants to know is, where do we live? So, I have said many times I live in Canada, but we actually live in different provinces. So,
I live in Alberta, in Calgary.
And I live in northern British Columbia. So I actually live in the same area that my mom grew up in. And so my grandparents are up here, and my auntie, my mom's sister's here. And so it kind of feels like home. How many siblings do you have? I have one sibling, a sister, and her name is Jill, and she's actually here. Hi! Okay, so one thing everybody wants to know is, was I messy as a child?
Yes, you were very messy as a child.
And as a teenager?
And worse, as a teenager.
Did I binge clean?
No, you didn't even binge clean. You just never cleaned.
I just never cleaned. So is it different now that we're all out of the house? Like, is it easier to keep it clean?
Oh yes, much. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. My kids make, 50% of the mess in the house. No, probably 75% of the mess in our house. Diane in Denmark asked, she's our favorite, how did you first find out about Flylady?
Well, I was on a holiday in the States and I needed a book to read. I went to the bookstore and I found Sync Reflections.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so I read that, and having just retired, I tried to put it to use.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this one's for me. It says, how long did it take before I decided that the Flylady system was going to work for me? I mean, I had no system, nothing. I was living in total chaos. I had no system, and I felt like it must work because people were doing it. It seemed like it's something that I could, work around my schedule, and it didn't feel so intimidating, and my mom was already doing it, and she showed me a bunch of vloggers, and when you watch people doing it on YouTube, like you guys watch me, it just makes it feel a little bit more like approachable. So I think I kind of thought right away that it might work for me, but mostly because I was desperate for anything to work for me. Any light bulb moments with your journey on the Flylady system?
Well, for me, the light bulb moment was when I realized that using a timer and sticking to my routines, putting one foot in front of the other, as Diane in Denmark always says, those were my basic 3 light bulb moments.
Yeah, I would say the timer was a big one for me too, just knowing that if you're just actually getting after a project and hustling and racing yourself and racing the timer, you can do crazy amounts of stuff in 15 minutes. Whereas before I would dawdle, now I just work hard, get it done, and I don't have to look at it again.
That's right.
So then someone asked, do your friends watch the videos? Okay, here's my huge confession about that. My friends don't know that I do Flylady or that I have a YouTube channel about Flylady. They don't even know I have a YouTube channel. It is a secret that I keep. And I think the reason is because I still feel really vulnerable telling people that I didn't have it all together. I know a lot of people do this. They pretend everything is great on the outside, and on the inside they're kind of falling apart, and at home they can't keep it together. And that was me. But I didn't want people to know that, and I kind of still don't. So I might tell them one day, I don't know. Okay, so this is a good one, and quite a few people asked, are you mad at me for saying that we grew up in a messy house?
You know what, Steph? I'm not mad at you. I've never been mad at you, but I'm a little embarrassed because it was very difficult for me working and being on my own with you 2 girls, and so things really fell apart, and I didn't, like you, I didn't really have a system. And so, things were not very good around our place at times.
Yeah, and we grew up in a messy house, but, my mom was a single mom. She was working. It's hard, and if you don't have a system, it's hard. So I'm not blaming my mom. You know, she didn't have a system, just like I didn't have a system until last year. What are you supposed to do, right? She did what she could in the time she could, and it probably would have helped to have the Flylady.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you feel when you saw how messy my house was?
Well, it wasn't a surprise, I can say that.
Are you available to help other people bail them out of their messy houses?
Well, you know what? It's been quite a challenge to bail myself out, and then to help Steffi bail herself out. So
Yeah. If you live in Hawaii and you have a bunch of extra rooms, hey, we'll come bail you out. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what would you say to a friend to help them see their way out of the chaos? People don't confess that they're struggling very often, and it's a shame, because if we all kind of just told each other that we were having a hard time, you'd find you were in company with everybody. You know, everybody's struggling with something. So I've had a couple of friends mention, you know, they can't keep the house clean, and what I do is I actually recommend they watch Diane in Denmark because I still don't want to tell them about my channel. So I always send everybody to Diane in Denmark. She's the best. What are your thoughts on women working, having kids, and cleaning? Is it possible, or should you hire a cleaner?
Well, it's possible to work and have children. I mean, I did it. So I would say myself that yes, you can do it, but you need a system. And if you've got your own system and you're very well organized, then you can manage. But I didn't really have that kind of system in place. So this is where the Flylady would have really helped me.
So it's okay to hire a cleaner sometimes, if you can afford it. If you can't
Yeah.
afford it,
You do what you can.
do what you can in the time you can, and do not beat yourself up. You're working mom, raising kids. That's what's important.
That's right.
Cleaning can come second, but just try to fit it in where you can. What was our cleaning system?
Well, it was
The burnout
the
method.
burnout method.
How much sleep do you get a night, and how do you find time to work out? Okay, this is a really good question, because this is something that I had been struggling with for a long time, and I recently changed. So I kind of just looked at my whole day and saw that from 8 o'clock when my kids go to bed till about 10 o'clock, I was just watching TV. So then I thought, if I take those hours at night that I'm kind of wasting and put them on the morning, you know, then I can do my workout and do some things by myself. So I go to bed earlier than I used to. I usually get to bed by 9 so that I can get up at 6 o'clock, do my workout. I often edit my videos first thing in the morning before my kids get up. Are you following the Dressing Your Truth system? No, but I've heard of it and it looks really interesting, so maybe down the road.
No, I haven't either.
Okay, what are your favorite things to do when you visit? We love to shop and go to the movies.
And I love to play with my little granddaughters.
Yeah, we mostly
They're
do that now.
adorable.
So a bunch of people have messaged and said, you know, I'm confused about the system. When do I do everything? How long does it take? Can you show us your schedule? I get this, because the Flylady system, as presented on the website, it's confusing, and the emails can make it really confusing and overwhelming, especially when you're brand new. So I am going to type up my weekly schedule and throw it below in the comments so you can have a look at exactly what I do. The best thing you can do when you're getting started is just start small. I say this again and again and again, and just because it's true, because it's too hard to start routines, zone cleaning, decluttering, missions, 5-minute room rescue, 27 fling boogie. Like, it's a lot. Start with one thing. Start with two things. When you've got those going, pick up another thing until your weekly schedule can be filled, because you don't want to feel like the system is overwhelming you. Make the system work for you. There are no rules to this system that you have to follow, that, you know, you're going to get in trouble if you break. This is for you. This is to make your life easier. So pick what you need to do based on the time you have to do it, the energy you have, and what is going to make the biggest difference in your life. And build your weekly schedule around that. Do you do weekly home blessing hour on Mondays? Yes, I do. I do it all on Mondays, but you split it up through the week, right?
No, I do mine on Fridays, so I've switched.
Fridays. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the best approach to decluttering, by category or room by room? So I feel like this kind of pulls in some KonMari stuff, and I like the idea of piling everything in a big pile and sorting through it. However, it's not always the best, especially if you don't have the energy to put it all away. I like to declutter Using the timer and also going place by place. So, a drawer or a cupboard or, a small room, whatever. But only take out what you have time to put away. That is a big Flylady rule, and it's super helpful. Do you just jump in wherever the Flylady is? Yes, I do. I just jump in and keep going, and if one day goes badly, I just start again the next day. I don't play catch up. I don't double up my work if I miss something the day before. I just keep going. If you only get to number 5 on your zone cleaning list one week, do you start at number 6 the next time you're working in the zone? Yes. So you just keep your list going, and the next time you get to that zone, you just keep on working down the list. Don't keep starting at the beginning of the list, right? You want to get the whole list done and start again. However long it takes is however long it takes. Do you do a lot of cleaning while your children are around? Do you involve them? How so? Okay, so this is a big one too. I try to clean when they're napping or when they're busy playing or something like that. In terms of older kids, like I say, I have little kids, so I don't really know for sure, and I don't really like giving advice about things I don't know about, but I do know this for sure. The example that you set for your children sets the tone for, everyone in the house. So if you're looking at chores and grumbling and complaining and moaning, they're going to look at chores and say, yeah, we hate chores. They're terrible. So try your best, even if you hate chores, to, bless your house with a positive attitude and let them know you're doing something for the house to help it. I don't really know. I don't have older kids. Maybe I'll eat all those words a couple years from now. So it's summer now and all my windows are open and everything is dusty. Any suggestions? That I will give to my mom because she grew up on a farm.
Yes, and when I grew up on a farm, my mom had a schedule, and every day, because there was a lot of dust flying in, my mom would just dust every day and vacuum every day, and it just had to be done, and she just did it, or I did it.
So it's just more work to have your windows open.
Yeah.
Sorry. What is your favorite zone to clean, and what is your least favorite part? My favorite zone to clean is my bedroom because it's easy and there's not really any scrubbing involved, and then I get to sleep in a nice clean room.
I think I like doing the living room, den, family room because they're easy.
And my least favorite is my bathtub and shower, and we're going into that zone next week and you'll see how bad my shower is. I haven't cleaned it in a year. What's your least favorite?
My least favorite is probably the kitchen.
Do we call each other to remind each other of the daily missions? No.
No.
Not really, but often when we talk on the phone, my mom will say, did you do your morning routine?
It's key.
So,
it's key.
It is key. So what's your favorite fly tip? I think we kind of said it before. Mine's the timer.
And I think mine is to end having those routines.
Okay, how do you keep your routines going? I get that you have to start small, but I'm struggling with keeping going. I can't seem to get motivated. Okay, this was really hard for me too. Drop the things that aren't important, aren't essential to keeping your house running and moving along, and just focus on the things that are gonna make the biggest difference.
And if you do your routines faithfully, you'll find that it gets easier and way faster to get them finished.
It's so hard at first and you're like, this feels like work, and eventually it just happens automatically. It will all come. Start small, keep going. Even start with one thing, one big habit that's gonna change everything. Leave everything else behind until you've mastered, the couple things that are gonna make the biggest difference. When you don't do one of your morning routines, should you compensate in the evening or trust that you'll do it the next day? Trust that you'll do it the next day. Don't do it in the evening. Don't beat yourself up if you miss something. Just keep going. Just like Dory, just keep swimming. Just jump back in exactly where you are. There are no rules. No Flylady police is gonna come and knock on your door and say, did you do your morning routine? Just do your best with the time that you have. I struggle to get my husband to help. Any tips?
Your husband is your husband. He will not change. So you need to change your way of doing things so you can cope.
Yeah. Everybody gets excited to start this system and they're like, everybody in the house, we're doing this. But if people aren't into it, just keep going yourself because you're blessing the house that you're living in. It's still your space. So just do what you can do to make the space feel good for you. And, hopefully your husband gets on board. But in terms of making someone do something, if you find out, let me know. My husband's very helpful, but
mine is very clean and tidy and quite helpful too.
But in terms of blessing your house, that's something you're doing for you and your family, for your space. So Make a decision to change for yourself. And, you know, maybe everybody else will jump on board, maybe they won't, but you can feel good about the change you're making. Last thing, what is the hardest part about doing Flylady?
It's making the decision to stick with it daily. You don't have to do it in order. You can do it when it fits you. Sometimes I'm not done till 3 in the afternoon, but I try to do it every day.
Yeah. If you have other questions or you want a little bit more info about something, put it in the comments below, or on any video that you see you have a question, just put it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. I always read all of the comments and I really appreciate everybody asking questions and all of your comments and all of your support. I really appreciate that I had this community and this channel to help me with my journey. A lot of times I don't feel like cleaning my house, but if I know I have to film, then I do it. So it's been the perfect accountability partner. So thank you, everybody out there, and thank you, Mom.
Welcome, sweetheart.
It was so fun. Okay, I will see you on Tuesday for zone cleaning, zone 4. Bye.